Hey guys, it's me Mr. 250 and welcome back to Umineko. Last time we left off Natsui, she decided, she knows her rights, she doesn't need this crap and she's getting out of here, and while everyone suspects that she's very suspicious. So, with everyone watching her, Natsui left the parlor. From their faces, she could tell that they were expecting the classic mystery pattern. That the first person to quarrel and leave the circle would become the next victim. Natsui couldn't disobey because of the threat against Cross, who had been taken as a hostage. Very soon, it would be that promised time, 1 p.m. She was to hide for an hour in the closet of a specific guest room. It was easy to suspect that this bizarre order was a trap to select her as the next sacrifice. She thought of various ways to resist. But all methods would be useless against a culprit who had a hostage and was observing her from close by. So Natsui could do nothing but obediently follow that order. Then claim that she had been forced to do this for her husband's safety. When the promised time had drawn near, Natsui had intentionally acted annoyed and smashed the cup on the ground to give her an excuse for slipping out of the parlor. At any rate, no matter how cowardly a trap it may be, I cannot disobey her now. I cannot disobey now. I am the one who carries the burden of the one-winged eagle. Now that my husband, Cross, has been captured, I must protect that, even if I need to eat dirt. Of course, I am prepared to do that. I am Ushirimi and Natsui. Even if I am not permitted to bear the one-winged eagle on my clothes, Father gave me permission to bear it in my heart. I've managed to get this far by believably dashing away in a rage. So far, everything has gone well. Before my eyes was the doorknob of the specified guest room. However, I wonder if it's locked. The servants are normally ordered to lock any unused rooms. What will I do if it's locked? I dashed out pretending that I was returning to my room. Popping back and asking a servant to unlock this guest room would be obviously suspicious. If I can, I'd like to get this eerie hide-and-seek over with without anyone noticing. In that room, in that phone call from the one who claimed to be the man from 19 years ago, he said that I would win if no one found out, but lose if anyone did find out. He said that my husband would be released whether I won or lost. But as a person with a hostage taken against me, I'd rather not lose. I don't like it at all, but I have to go along with this game. When I softly gripped the doorknob, I could feel that it was unlocked. Did Shannon or Kumasawa forget to lock it after cleaning? Or did that man unlock it in advance? That man couldn't be waiting for me in this room, could he? And then he'll... Oh man, spooky. All that about hide and seek might have been just an excuse. I kept the fact that I was coming here secret, and all of the other people must think I'm resting in my room. If I were to be killed in this situation, it might create a new baffling murder case, like an extension of the one which occurred this morning.
そうならば、犯人と直接対決する良い機会ではありませんか。
Natsui had some experience using a naginata, but only casually. Unlike Eva, she couldn't brag about being able to hold off any single ruffian indefinitely. As she was now, she had no realistic chance of challenging a man with malicious intent and winning. She readied herself and slowly opened the door. She couldn't just stand around in the corridor and risk being seen by someone. Oh well, that's a problem for 5 seconds from now, Natsui to worry about. Not 5 seconds ago, Natsui. The atmosphere inside the guest room was ice cold, and she could sense no trace of a person waiting impatiently for her. All she could hear was the unsettling sounds of the wind and rain. At first, that seemed to be proof that no one existed to threaten her. But soon, it only made an uneasy feeling rise up inside of her even more strongly than before. The closet was just off to the side of anyone entering the room. Lined up inside it was a set of hangers for hanging coats on. This closet, which had nothing hanging in it, was large enough for even an adult to hide in. She softly opened the closet. Of course, there was nothing inside. She would have to hide quietly in here for an hour. The room had a wood floor, but something like a carpet had been laid in the closet. It seemed that sitting down wouldn't be a problem. She had been sure someone would be waiting for her in this room, or that a strange letter would be lying in the closet. In the worst case, she'd even imagined that her husband's corpse might be inside there. However, none of these things she imagined turned out to be true. The only thing there was a cold guest room, and a lifeless closet which was silently urging her to go inside.
この中に1時間隠れていろというのですね。馬鹿にした話です。
Natsui shrugged, turned around, then locked and chained the guest room door.
これでこの部屋には誰も入れないではありませんか。
I bet whenever she gets out, it's going to be unlocked and she's going to start panicking.
つまり1時間の間誰にも私を見つけることはできない。
That just seems like something that Natsui would just have a panic attack over.
私の勝ちです。バカバカしいかくれんぼですね。
Of course, she is turning herself into a closed room. Good job, Natsui. This surely must be a total victory in that hide-and-seek game against that mystery man. However, it was such an easy victory, it made her feel uneasy. Normally, this would be against the rules of hide-and-seek. Even if she had won, wouldn't this displease the culprit? And now everyone thought she had returned to her room. If they found a room with a chain set, that would make it an impossible closed room to them. Erica dashed through the mansion to confirm alibis, or something. If she noticed that the chain was set in this room, there would probably be an uproar, which would end in them cutting the chain and searching the room. If that happened, Natsui would be found hiding in the closet right away. It would be easy to honestly confess as to why she had been hiding. However, that man had insisted that she not reveal that. If she did talk, she might be endangering her husband. Thinking of it that way, the chain, no, even setting the lock might be a bad idea. That's right. The room was unlocked when I came here. If it were to suddenly become locked, it's conceivable that it might catch someone's attention. It's better if I don't do anything unnecessary. That man only told me to hide.
結局言いなりになるしかないのですね。
I hate doing it, but I can't disobey. I undid those 2 precious locks, went into the dimly lit closet filled with the smell of old wood, and managed to close the door from the inside. Started tweeting everybody about what a strange experience I was in. Pitch black. It reminded me of when I was young, when I used to hide somewhere then surprise my mother. But that peaceful recollection wasn't enough to kill off my anxiety. It really is pitch black. From here, I won't even be able to check my watch to see if an hour has passed. I'll probably need to open the door a crack every once in a while to let in enough light for my watch. For now, I'll crouch down here. I thought about clutching my knees, but it hurt my back when I tried. I'm not as young as I used to be. Even though I was made to do a PE crouch, and every PE class is a grade schooler. I now have to struggle just to sit down. Just crouching down here for an hour will probably hurt a lot. And thus Natsui's 1 hour boredom began. Oh boy, no, we're gonna have like reflection and recollection here. Oh boy. I can't believe I'll be hiding in the darkness for a full hour. There's nothing to hear except for the wind and the rain. Ironically, Natsui had made Jessica do the exact same thing in the past. She had done it to scold Jessica's persistent bad habits and teach her a lesson when she was a little girl. She had thought that making Jessica stay put in the darkness would sprout a desire to reflect on her mistakes, and that this way, she would understand what she had done wrong. It almost feels like I'm being made to do the same thing. If that's the true purpose of this hide and seek.
甘えた考えです。
This must be my naivety. The thought that if their goal is to make me repent, nothing will happen here during this hour. So now she's being the rebellious little girl who doesn't want to repent. Uncertainty and fear of that man's shadow are not what I need right now. Will someone suddenly come into this room, open this closet, and do something horrible to me now that I've come here in total secrecy as promised? That's what I should be worrying about. The culprit, or one of his accomplices, is very close by. If they weren't, they wouldn't be able to observe me so thoroughly. I don't want to think it, but it's highly likely that the culprit bought off one of the servants. The culprit hid an eerie card with "Fall" written on it in my room. My personal room is always locked. That trick wouldn't have been possible without a key. Instead of believing that they obtained the key when the servants weren't looking, it's much more realistic to assume that one of the servants lent the culprit a hand.
しかし、どうして私の好きな季節が秋だと?
Oh, I mean, you got a 1 in 4 chance. So, I mean, even odds are that you might figure it out.
気持ちが悪い。
Hey, she's got, leafy pictures over here. Maybe she likes fall. I don't know. The thought that this mystery man might be peeking into my heart sent goosebumps running across my whole body. It's true that I like fall, but I don't say that out loud. Yeah, but your clothing and, actions could reflect on that, possibly. And, possessions. That too. I don't think anyone's ever heard me say it. If I asked even my husband what my favorite season is, he would probably be stuck for an answer. Just once. I told it to a single person. That's right. Shannon. Uh-oh. Shannon's the culprit. On a fall day long ago, I happened to be in a good mood. And I mentioned that fall was my favorite of the 4 seasons. So the culprit, or one of their accomplices, has to be Shannon.
私が秋を好きだというのはシャノンしか知り得ないこと。なら、これはシャノンが関わっているという明白な証拠ではありませんか?
Obviously.
それをあの秋というカードが証明しています。なんということ。10年にもわたり当家の世話になりながら。
I trembled and shook with rage. Didn't Kinzo once say that anger is the fastest sedative to cure fear and uncertainty? It's easy to tell the most fearful humans from within a crowd. They're always the first to get angry. I remember him telling me that. So I realized that this anger was a sign that I was actually frightened. And I tried my best to remain calm. However, this is a vital clue for turning things around. Shannon may not be reliable as a servant, but if she's an accomplice used by that mystery man, this might actually be convenient. A weak-willed girl. If I threaten her, she'll probably spill the name of the mastermind in an instant. I'll secretly tell the police about this. It might become a big clue towards arresting the culprit.
あのカードで私を驚かし、うまく手綱を取れたつもりだったのでしょうが、むしろ墓穴を掘ったようですね。
I never told anyone except Shannon that I like Fall. This is unshakable proof that she's working with the culprit. Though I thought this time in the closet would crush me with uncertainty and uneasiness, it's actually given me the start of a counterattack. If I wasn't given this time in the darkness, I probably wouldn't have noticed this. I'm almost grateful to the culprit for making up this foolish game. My mood brightened. I still can't guarantee that my husband is safe, but I'll definitely take him back and force the culprit to face judgment. I grip my fist tightly, and further strengthen my resolve to avoid losing this fight at any cost. Oh no! At that time, I hear the sudden sound of someone trying to force the locked door open. But is it not locked? I thought it wasn't locked. Are you talking about the closet? And my heart leapt. The voice was Hideyoshi's. I heard a quiet voice, as though he was talking to himself, coming from what was probably the hallway. Apparently he had thought it was locked and tried to unlock it, but it was unlocked in the first place. It ended up locking the unlocked door instead. Once again there was the sound of the lock turning, and now the door opened with a faint sound. Why? Is Hideyoshi-san in this room? Footsteps which sounded like his came in, and there was the sound of him closing and locking the door behind him. Then came what seemed to be the sound of him setting the chain. Don't tell me, Hideyoshi-san is the mastermind? Or else an accomplice? Is he planning to do something to me in this room? It would take some time to unlock the door from the side, much less to remove the chain. If Hideyoshi-san doesn't intend to let me escape from here, he won't give me enough time to undo the chain. In that case, if he opens the closet door, and sees me crouching here pathetically, just what kind of fearsome words will he say? I don't want to be found. I don't want to be found. I beg you, pass right on by the closet door. Please keep going into the center of the room. My head was so filled with the throbbing sound that it felt like it was about to explode, and I almost missed hearing his noisy footsteps. So when I heard a clunking sound coming from the center of the room, I finally realized that he'd passed by the closet, and was deeply relieved. As he whispered, he did something that made a clunking sound. He was probably closing the shutters on the windows. Just in case? In case I try to escape out the window? No, that can't be it. That's right. When I left the parlor, everyone was talking about possibly taking a break. After all, several murders had occurred, and the weather was bad. There would be nothing abnormal about arresting in a guest house here instead of returning to a guest house. In that case, locking up and closing the shutters to guarantee safety was the proper course of action to take. When he finished closing the shutters, there was a thunk as though he had flopped over on the bed. It was surprising how much of the situation could be grasped just by the sound. What's going on here? Did the man from 19 years ago plan all this out to put me in the same room as Hideyoshi-san? No, that probably isn't true. He probably planned on me hiding here. But Hideyoshi-san coming to take a rest here must have been outside the scope of his plan. Thinking about it that way, having him in the room might be odd, but it also might guarantee my own safety. Unlike his wife, Hideyoshi-san is the kind of person I can talk to. If Eva-san comes, things will probably get complicated. Maybe I should slip out of this closet now while he's still alone. Reveal everything to just him and ask for help. But if I do that, my husband might be killed. Until my husband is released, I shouldn't do anything rash. Should I go out and talk or hide in here? Moaning from my headache and biting my lower lip, I resisted the urge to crawl out of here. Even if I talk with Hideyoshi-san, I don't know where my husband is being held. I'm sure that the traitor who's observing me is nearby. Just talking to him won't solve anything. I suspect that Shannon is the traitor, but that's no proof that Goda and the others aren't. It's all useless. I guess. Stealing Battler's line, are you? Leaving here and confessing is too dangerous after all. Eventually I heard a strange sobbing voice. Whose voice is it? I strained my ears trying to hear that strange voice, and was shocked to discover that it was Hideyoshi weeping. Hideyoshi, who had lost his only son, was finally able to shed tears and cry, now that he was all alone like this. Thinking that he needed to support Eva in her distress, he acted as though he was alone, as though he alone was standing firm. However, he had as good a right as anyone to cry. And now that he had found a place where no one could see his tears, he finally let himself do that. And I lost my daughter. I haven't seen her corpse with my own eyes, so it still doesn't really feel like she's dead. But if the one who carried her off was the culprit, and he had some repulsive motive for doing it, just thinking about it makes me feel as though my chest will tear itself apart. The reason I'm hiding in here now is that I'm thinking more about my still living husband than my dead daughter. But if I were given the chance, I'd be wailing at the top of my lungs too. However, I still can't let myself do that. It isn't because the man from 19 years ago told me to hide. It's because I'm the final head of the Ushirimiya family. It's been completely overshadowed by the recent uproar. But last night, Battler-kun found the hidden gold and even gained the head's ring from that mysterious envelope. At the very, very end, when it's all over, I probably won't be able to prevent his ascension as the head. And when everything regarding the distribution of the inheritance is revealed, the Ushirimiya family honor and glory passed down from father will plummet to the earth. So, I am the final head. Well, what, you don't think Battler can handle it? Battler-kun will probably inherit the remaining wealth of the Ushirimiya family. However, its history and honor will all end with my generation. Therefore, I am the final head. I must not cry. Not yet. Until I get my husband back and avenge my daughter, I will not be allowed to shed tears. In the closet, I silently hung my head as I listened to Hideyoshi-san's sobs. Uh-oh. Huh? My heart leapt. Oh no, spooky sounds. Hideyoshi-san, who must have been lying prostrate on the bed, made a sound as though he had bounded to his feet. Did he notice me? He was clearly in a struggle with someone. Who could it be? No, it doesn't matter who it is. It's probably the culprit, and they're probably trying to take Hideyoshi-san's life. Shouldn't I jump out of here and help him? If I can't help him, shouldn't I call for help? No, but if I do that, I'll be questioned why I was hiding here, and then my husband will die, and I can't do that. However, if Hideyoshi-san gets killed like this... No, now isn't the time to be saying that. At this rate, he'll certainly be killed. I'll jump out of here and help him right now. But if I do that, even if I can save Hideyoshi-san, I'll be abandoning my husband's life, and I can't do that. Hideyoshi-san's life and my husband's life. How sinful would it be to try and weigh those against each other? At that time, there's a loud sound of the door opening, and the chain being pulled tight. Someone was trying to open the door despite the chain being set.
あなた、私を開けてくれる？
エヴァ！
あなた？何？どうしたの？あなた！ここを開けて！
Well, guess who's gonna be the prime suspect now?
これ開けて！開けてあなた！誰か！
You better get used to hiding in your closet. And hopefully no one will bother opening it. She opened and closed the door over and over again with all her might, but of course she couldn't snap the chain. Epicene called for help in a loud voice and raced through the hallway. By this time, the room had settled back into silence, and that earlier feeling of Hideyoshi being in a noisy struggle had disappeared completely. What's going on here? So, right now, I'm in the same room as the murderer who killed Hideyoshi-san? In that case, the culprit should try to escape from the room as soon as possible. So why are they hiding in here? I haven't heard anything. Nothing that might have been the culprit who attacked Hideyoshi-san rushing away. No matter how much I strain my ears, I can't sense anyone in the room. In fact, it's so silent that it makes what happened just a second ago feel like an illusion. In other words, does this mean that the culprit is hiding his breath, standing just outside this closet, waiting for me to stumble out? I mean, I would say out of all of your options at the moment, not staying in this room is one of the ones that you don't want to do. Or staying in this room is one you don't want to do, I should say. I don't even know what I'm scared of anymore. If only I could just melt away into the darkness of this closet. I mustn't remain in this room any longer. I get the feeling I have more to worry about than just my personal safety. But what should I do? I don't even know if it's a good idea to leave this closet. Eventually, the clamor of many rushing footsteps approached. Well, now look what you did. I hold my breath again and melt away into the darkness of the closet. Now look what you did. You should have left. Now you're like a big prime suspect. Oh well, I'll leave it off there for today. Natsui is dumb. Natsui's really dumb. I mean, I get it like, oh no, my poor husband. But if he doesn't even know what your favorite season is, maybe he doesn't like you so much. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.